So here we go. We're going to go over the alien genetics worksheet. And you're going to make up 4 traits yourself. I'm going to write down a few things. You don't have to copy mine down. You can make up your own. So I'm going to say for the first one, the trait is that they have antenna. The second one is if they're green in color. The next one is if they have fangs. And the next one is 3 eyes. What is the dominant allele? It's always should be the letter for the dominant trait. So A for dominant trait, capital A. Recessive is lowercase letter a. Being green is a capital G. Having fangs is a capital F. And 3 eyes, I'll just do an E for eyes. Now, this is meant to be random, so you should flip a coin. I've got coins up here. But if you noticed, I give you a link right here for a spinner. See if I can click into it. So here's my spinner. I'm going to make yes be dominant. So I'm just going to spin that. So now I'm going to say that mom was a capital A because that was a yes. And a capital A. Lowercase letter a. And a capital letter A. By the way, you should always write the capital letter first. In Punnett squares, always put the capital letter first. Now, just to speed things up, I'm going to flip my coins, but you should try to have some randomness to it. So I have a capital G and a lowercase g.
Do the letters have anything to do with it?
What?
Do the letters have anything to do with it, or are you just randomly choosing letters?
You should have the letters be what the trait was. So I chose A for antenna, G for green. Now in these 4 boxes, take your 4 traits. So I have homozygous dominant and heterozygous. I have heterozygous and heterozygous. Homozygous? Heterozygous?
That was thicker than the old test. Like you know, they used to hold like back in the day, like have everyone still remember. Imagine if that was like as thick as a girl.
Yeah.
That would be really thick.
Say again?
Are we writing those ones down? I'm not good.
Your own. Whatever letters you have up here, you take them and you put them here, and you take that one, and that becomes this one.
Yeah, you told us. Oh, we can.
We can.
Yeah, Ben, that's what Ben said. You listen to what Ben said. Ben's my tutor. I don't care very much though.
What are the genotype and phenotype ratios for this trait?
Oh, I just learned how to write.
Just answer this question right here based off of one of these traits. So you can pick yours. I'm going to circle this one and then answer it down here. What is the genotype ratio? The genotype ratio, I have EE. I have one of those. I have two of the heterozygous, and I have one of the homozygous recessive. That is a 1 to 2 to 1 genotype ratio. These three right here are all the same because they have the dominant, and then I have one recessive. So the phenotype ratio is 3 to 1, and my genotype is 1 to 2 to 1. Let me do a quick sweep around the room, see how you're doing.
Because
If you have any questions.
if you make a double decker, you make it. If you make a double decker futon, then you can turn it into a bed into a couch. But if you have like a bunk bed, you can't turn it into a couch. But if you have just a double decker couch, it's only a couch. But if you have a double decker futon, it can turn into a bed to a couch. Nothing wrong with Italian. You want to get a haircut? Yeah. You just bring me my card. You please me for a phone, girl. Nah. I don't trust that. Those are some nice ones too. Yeah, come on. Holy.
And then you highlight it.
You missed your budget. My uncle John came. I don't know if you remember him.
You have two that are the same and two that are the same. That's a 2 to 2 ratio or 1 to 1. You always simplify it as much as you can. 1 to 1 genotype ratio. And they all have one capital F. So they're all going to look the same. So it's just called 1.
Yeah. I know my uncle. Oh, darn that. Yeah.
All right, I'll set this one up for you. So we're crossing this guy, goes on the left, the other one at the top, and we're going to FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. So this is a capital E and a capital W. So it goes right there. Foil. O is the outside. That's a capital E and a capital W again. Those are the outsides. Then the insides. Lowercase e, capital W. And then the last of each pair, which is that one and that one. So it's lowercase e, capital W. So foil, the other one, lowercase e, capital W. Lowercase e, lowercase w. Lowercase e, capital W. Nope, sorry, I did that one wrong. It's lowercase e, the inside. No, that was right. And then the last of each one, like that.
That what? Okay.
And this is where it's going to get, you have to be pretty neat and make sure your letters are going to look nice. So capital E, lowercase e, 2 capital W's. Not really enough space for all these.
Oh wow.
Capital E, lowercase.
My fault. My fault. What day of the week is it? It's Friday, right?
It is not Friday.
I think I could join cheer team. I think you could.
Oh.
It's cool. There's so much good stuff happening. Well, there's water on it. There's probably water like in like the moon. We just haven't gone deep.
What are the phenotype ratios? So then what you can do is you can pick a color, and I'm going to highlight every one that has at least a dominant gene for each one. So these all have capital E and capital W. These have capital E and capital W. And then these guys,
Like, no one technically has it.
these have lowercase e, capital W. So as complicated as that looks, the phenotype ratio is 1-to-1. That means 8 are that, and 8 are that. So that gets simplified to a 1-to-1 ratio. 1-to-1 ratio.
Just use a calculator now. Just say words.
So that's as complicated as it gets. This shows the law of independent assortment. We now have all the different combinations of these 2 traits. But when Mendel did this, he had 7 traits, and they all were independent of each other.
Do you guys have any guidance?
Any questions? Anybody need help?
I just know. Well, do you do share?
Yep. No, this is like an extra box, so you don't need that one. So we're done with the alien genetics, and you turn that in. Then you open up the genetics practice problems, and this is due tomorrow night, but you can finish it in class right now. So there's a second assignment. This is called genetics practice problems. So I'll go over several of these with you. For each genotype, indicate whether it is heterozygous or homozygous. Punnett square practice, yep. So you're going to write HO if they're the same. You don't have to say whether it's homozygous dominant or homozygous recessive. Just whether it's homozygous. If it is an uppercase and lowercase, that is HE for heterozygous. HE, HE,
Jack.
HE. Follow along with me and you're going to get a lot of it done. I'm going to go over almost every problem with you. So, you ready to go on?
I bet someone's up there.
You have to do all of them. I'm only doing some of them just so that you see how to do the problem. HO for homozygous if the letters are the same. HE for heterozygous if you have an uppercase and lowercase, dominant and recessive.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Sticking with this, Angel? Yep. Question 2. They're going to tell you what the dominant one is. So, purple. So, what color is this? This guy is purple. This guy is purple. And this guy is white.
Purple, sir. What did he do?
This guy is brown. This one is brown, heterozygous. And this one is not brown. And they tell you that blue is the recessive. This is a long tail. This is a long tail. Homozygous dominant or heterozygous. As long as you have one dominant gene, you will show the dominant trait. The only way to show the recessive trait is if you have two recessive genes, and so this is short. Round, round, wrinkled.
Why do you even know what he's doing? Do you even know what it is?
For each phenotype, list the genotypes. Remember to use the letter for the dominant trait. So this is capital S for straight, homozygous, or heterozygous.